On the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go show. And now here's your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life.
You know, when I hear that song, it just really, it's like I go to my happy place, Bonnie.
Yeah, me too.
I do.
It just brings back so many memories, and so many memories that when it was Tradition Field, and now and then First Data Field for a while.
Now it's Clover Park.
Yes.
And a renovated Clover Park.
Yeah, so fine.
Joining us on our line right now is the executive producer of content and marketing. He also oversees game productions, social media marketing, and creative services, Mr. Joe DeVito. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, Evan. Good morning, Bonnie. How are you guys?
We're very good. Thank you, Mr. Joe.
It's good to hear your voice, man. That's all I got to tell you. First off, it's so
Likewise,
good to hear your
Evan.
voice. I can say I miss you and Josh and the entire team. It's crazy times we're living in right now, but you're doing something very unique that a lot of the other ballparks are doing as well. First and foremost, you guys have all the cardboard cutouts courtesy of Gary Pincus and his company. What is the count up to as of late? Do you know?
We're getting up there. We're almost at a sellout. I think we're upwards of somewhere over 8,000 right now, and we'll probably land somewhere around 10,000. So it's been really successful.
That's crazy. And I know the 7-Line Army, they have their section out in center field, so that's always a sellout for every game, right?
Yes, it is. And I got to believe that all those orange jerseys out there give a sense of normalcy to the ball players. They're so used to seeing the 7-Line out there, and Darren over at 7-Line did a great job rallying the troops and getting everybody to go ahead and log into the website and get their cutout. It was really, really well done.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about your responsibility, because you're the guy that's responsible for taking dead air and turning it into 40,000 plus people in the stadium. I want to dissect how that's all done and where did it all start? How did you get going doing this?
Yeah, this is something that was really a big conversation between multiple teams and the league during the beginnings of our ramp back up to games when we knew we weren't going to be able to have fans in the ballpark. MLB initiated the conversation of what we need to do, not only for a sense of normalcy for the viewers at home and for the players and broadcasters, but also to help preserve some integrity of the gameplay. We don't realize when you've got, even if you only have 10,000 fans in there, they're creating such a background noise that, mound visits and coaching from, the dugouts, that stuff's not audible. And without this crowd sound being pumped through the ballpark, I think you would hear a pin drop.
Right.
So it was a multi sort of faceted reason why we wanted to approach this. And we were really lucky that, Sony PlayStation had recordings of all of our ballparks for fans. And they were basically able to just turn around and give those back to us. MLB worked with the vendor to create a little dashboard on an iPad, and we essentially sit in the control room and score the game as close to the real, situation we would be in if we had our fans. So 2 strike counts, we ramp it up a little bit more. Big cheers for big moments, of course, and a couple of disappointed oohs and ahs when something doesn't go our way. But it's been a real group effort with the league on this, and everyone's kind of taken their version of what they feel like their ballpark should sound like and putting it into play.
I know that when I'm watching the game at home or I'm listening to it on radio, it is so realistic. I've even actually texted you during a game or two. And, Joe, I have to tell you, man, it's so realistic sounding when you watch the game on TV and you have that sound of the crowd in the background, just the ambient sound of like 30,000 people are just sitting there. and then like when Nimmo or somebody cracks a home run over the fence, or Conforto or whoever it may be, you get the crowd goes nuts. The crowd comes alive, and it's like there's 30,000 people in the stadium.
Yeah, I mean, look, our fans make it easy for us because we know how passionate they are, and when those great moments, like you just named, happen at home, we get a really. There's nobody more passionate than Mets fans. We all know this. When we're playing well, our fans are there to cheer us along. So to be able to just replicate that a little bit for folks at home and for the players, it was just something that we really felt positively about. We wanted to try it, and we hoped that it was going to work and get a good reception. And I think for the most part, it has. I think some fans, may not love it and they'd rather be there, and we understand that. But so far, we think it's actually really sounded great.
So the $1 million question, Joe: who holds the iPad?
Well, it's funny. We have a couple of different staffers. We're trying to get multiple people to be able to kind of replicate the same experience, so you would never know the difference.
Right.
But our good friend Tim Gunkel started us off and really helped set the tone. It took me one game to sit next to Tim and just kind of work with him on that. And I was like, yeah, these guys got it. And they've been doing a fantastic job. So shout out to Tim and John and a couple of the other guys that are going to be holding the iPad.
It's truly amazing. So you sit at a table, or you're sitting in the control room, and you're holding an iPad. It's plugged into its power source. And then the other plug is that little mini plug that goes into your sound system at the stadium. And it's literally piped in through every single speaker in the entire stadium.
That's correct. And it also sends a feed to our radio partners and our RSN, SNY. And if we have any, other Fox or ESPN coming into the house, so we're able to distribute that audio wherever we need to, really. But yeah, we made sure to, fire it out of all the speakers. And, we'll even get feedback from the players in front office, say, oh, that was great. A little louder, a little more of this, a little more of that. And we love that back and forth communication with everyone that it affects, including broadcast. So because where we are up top, it's a little hard to tell, how it's really coming off. So we appreciate that feedback. And I think so far we've been able to find that sweet spot with with all the sounds.
Is it realistic, like putting in little coughs and sneezes with the crowd too, like that, or are they afraid to sneeze because of COVID?
That might clear the room, Bonnie. No, I think like I said, with Sony PlayStation, they recorded actual crowd sound. So whatever was happening on the nights that they were able to aggregate all of those sounds and put them into a track, into a file, that's what we're putting back out there. So, every ballpark is going to sound different. Obviously, a closed dome versus Citi Field.
Right.
So it was really just very lucky that we were able to work with Sony on that stuff and bring an actual recording of our actual fans to life again in the ballpark during these crazy times.
Now, all the audio is stored inside the iPad, correct?
Yes, with multiple backups, of course, because we have to make sure we don't.
I would hope you have.
I
would hope you have a couple of iPads on standby just in case.
Yes. Yes,
that or you'd have dead noise, as they say, dead crowds, so to speak.
That would not be good. No, it's all stored on the iPad, and it's a dashboard where you literally can just press a button and get things to happen. And it's a very strange feeling to be able to control that sound in a ballpark. Normally, we do prompts and we do little cues and music, hits to get the crowd to do certain things. Now we could just press the button and get that moment to happen. So it's been a very strange and unique experience, to say the least. But yeah, it's an easy to use system, and I think we all collectively appreciated that because we didn't know what we were getting into, So this was something that came to us, and we were able to really dial it in and customize it to each ballpark's experience.
It's almost like having one of DJ Razor's instant replays right in front of you with the 50 hotkeys, and you just press a button and bam, away you go.
Absolutely. And it's funny you bring up DJ Razor, because now a lot of the music cues that he's creating, they'll have little crowd sounds in it as well, additional ones, because again, we're lacking that normal back and forth between our audience,
right,
between our fans. So everything that we're putting out audio wise now, we're doing that with in mind with how do we make it sound as authentic as possible.
So in other words, let's say when Michael Conforto comes up to the plate and his walk-up song plays and DJ Razor hits that button, the crowd noise is built into that walk-up song, so the crowd applauds when he walks up.
A little bit of that, and a little bit of Tim or someone pressing a button to coincide and actually live in the moment working with DJ Razor as that song is coming on. We start to pump up the crowd, and then we let it fade back down to the the neutral kind of buzz for his at bat.
Wow, that's really amazing. Situation, I saw Colin Cosell posted a short video of him announcing Luis Guillorme into the game as the pitcher. Funniest thing I've ever watched in my entire life. How odd was that for you guys to experience Luis Guillorme, who's normally either like second or shortstop, and he's getting called into the game as the pitcher? That had to be very different.
It's always, look, I think the fan, even if it's a lopsided game, I think fans enjoy watching position players pitch.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there are Twitter accounts that do a position player alert, it was fun. You try to make the best out of it. Obviously you'd rather be on the other side of that score. But yeah, it's always fun. And, those guys down on the field always take it in good spirit and get a kick out of it, as do we upstairs, as you can tell by Colin's video.
Yeah, definitely so. And of course, the $1 million question that everybody has asked me, that I don't like to reveal the secrets too much about the magic, and the myth of how everything gets put together in that massive control room that's up there at Citi Field. But who has the privilege and who is assigned to pressing that button for the apple to go up and the apple to come down?
The apple button.
The apple button.
It's our secret little button. Everyone wants to know, where it is and who operates it. It is, it's funny. There's not a specific person. It's positioned in a certain place where whomever is in the chair closest to it hits it. We have, there are times where I've been standing there and I see a ball going out and I'm like, I'm pressing the button on this. I got to raise the apple for this one. This is a big home run. But typically it's our buddy Tim, not Gunkel, no different Tim Powers, who is sitting there. He's controlling a lot of the LED ribbons and other graphics that go out to the ballpark, and he'll just swing his chair around and press the button. It's a cool little device, and little cover over the button and a little key that you have to turn, so it looks a little bit more serious than it is, but it's a fun thing when we're obviously when we're hitting home runs.
Yeah, because we have to be careful. We don't want to hit that button unless it needs to be pushed down. That's why there's the key. That's why there's the cover. It kind of reminds me of the golden buzzer on America's Got Talent. You press that buzzer and just all heck breaks loose.
Yeah. You don't want to an erroneous apple rise to happen. You got to be very, very sure it's out.
Well, Joe, all I can say is, keep one of those iPads handy, because, before you know it, spring training is going to be here, and we have no idea what's going to be happening down at Clover Park. And, this craziness could be carrying through spring training, and, we may need your expertise with that infamous iPad with those crowd sounds for us down here.
Absolutely. We'd be happy to help. We're all looking forward to getting back to that normal, good spring training with a packed Clover Park, and getting to work with all our friends down in Port St. Lucie like yourself. So hopefully we don't need the iPad, but we'll have it in the road case.
It'll be there just in case on standby.
Absolutely.
And maybe hire a young boy or young girl to run that, because they're so used to firing up the video games anyway. They'd probably have the best skills at it, like a little
I'm
boy
sure
or
they'd
girl.
be much better at it than us. Absolutely.
Folks, that's the executive producer of content and marketing, and he oversees all the game production, social media, marketing, and creative services, Mr. Joe DeVito from Citi Field. And Joe, thanks a lot, man. I know you got a couple of days off. The team is down in Miami, and they're doing good. They're on a roll, and hopefully they'll continue on a roll and make it to the playoffs.
Absolutely. That's the goal. Thank you so much for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it. And let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets.